you are planning to start a business or if you are a startup founder, then this video is for you. Let's start with a harsh truth. Over 90% of businesses fail globally. That's 9 out of 10, yes. Almost 10% of them fail within the first year. Another 70% fail within the next 2 to 3 years. And here's the scary part. Most of them fail after they receive their first funding. Let's look at what are the top reasons why they fail. According to global research by CB Insights and Startup Genome, the top reasons are they ran out of money, they built something no one wanted, they scaled too fast, they lost focus, or simply they couldn't handle growth. This video is about that phase when you have received funding and some of the traps that you fall into after that. Working with services organizations and with startups, I see a set pattern to this. In this video, we'll look at why the real struggle starts after you receive funding, the 6 traps that you need to be aware of in this period, and a sort of playbook for you to recover if you get into any of these pitfalls. So let's quickly jump in.
3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
When you get funded, what really happens? You get access to money, credibility, and visibility. But you get 3 new pressures. Speed. Your investors want rapid results. Scale. Your team wants rapid growth. And finally, signal. The market thinks you have arrived. And amidst this new identity, something dangerous begins to happen. Founders forget what made them successful initially. They were scrappy, they were sharp, they were hungry. They start behaving like CEOs of large organizations, but of course without that structure. Let me give you an example. A health tech startup I know got 5 million in funding. Within 3 months, they moved into a glass office, hired 40 people, paid double the market salaries, started spending on digital ads without testing, launched features based on investor feedback, not customer feedback. 6 months later, the board wanted revenue growth, the CEO wanted answers, the team wanted to know what they were building. Everyone was spinning in different directions. This story is more common than you think. Let's look at the 6 traps most startups fall into post-funding. Trap 1. Scaling without structure. You hire fast, great, but your ops, onboarding, delivery and HR are still at the pre-funding stage. So what happens? Managers don't know what to manage, processes break, customers start complaining, and productivity goes down, not up. So here's the fix. Build processes first, not people. Document workflows, internal playbooks. Every person you hire must know their job role, their matrices, their scope, what success means to them, and most importantly, their accountability. The second big trap is chasing too many opportunities. Now you have money, so you build 3-4 verticals, you start chasing multiple opportunities, and you end up creating a monster that nobody understands. Here's the fix. Focus on one thing, one persona, one niche. Get deep into that, master it, be recognized as the best in that play before you move on to anything else. Focus is the most underrated virtue in this business. The third big trap is hiring based on resume and not on the fit. I see many of these startups trying to hire people from Amazon and Google, Microsoft, paying a lot more. They don't understand. Right now, what you need is builders, not maintainers. Hire people who understand the startup mindset. So here's the fix. Hire people who can work with ambiguity. People who can work with their hands and make it dirty. Hire people who are hungry. Hire people who understand the purpose and not necessarily the brand. The fourth trap is overbuilding the product. Since you have money now, every time you see a customer gap, you come back and add that new feature into the product. You end up creating a very complex product. You begin building endlessly without validating demand. The product roadmap becomes a wish list. Here's the fix. Shift small. Learn fast. Don't do any changes until you have really tested it at a micro level. Make sure there is substantial demand for something you're going to invest in. The fifth trap, very common though, is financial indiscipline. To be honest, you are very creative with how you used your money, when you didn't have enough. Now, with a lot of money, you start outsourcing indiscriminately, hiring indiscriminately. You buy tools you don't use. You start behaving like a Series C company with Series A funding. Here's the fix. Set monthly caps on what you're burning. Scrutinize your expenses absolutely closely. Look at ROI for every rupee spent, especially on marketing and hiring. This is where it can really get out of hand. This is quite an interesting trap. The founders get distracted. It's quite natural that now you're spending a lot more time with the investors, PR teams, speaking assignments, boardrooms explaining why the burn multiples are happening. As a founder, you once sat with users and built prototypes. These are huge distractions for you. My suggested fix is plan how you spend your time between vision and execution. Spend 30% time with your customers, 30% time with your team, and 30% time on strategy, and leave only 10% for investors and PR activity. In this section, let me suggest a turnaround playbook. Now, if you're already in trouble, investors are nervous, your team is confused, revenue is not growing, it's time for a reset. Let me share 5 steps for an internal recovery playbook. Step 1. Conduct a brutal internal audit. Ask hard questions. Which hires are adding value? Which customers are actually profitable? What processes are broken? What are we pretending is working? Bring in an outsider if you must. It always works because they don't have an emotional attachment to the organization. Step 2. Quickly stabilize the business. Cut non-essential spend. Pause non-core product development. Refocus team efforts on high-impact activities. In one turnaround that I saw, they cut 3 product lines, merged 2 teams, and focused entirely on one product market fit. Within 4 months, the revenue tripled and with half the effort. Step 3. Relook and rebuild the matrices. Most startups measure vanity metrics, app downloads, site visits, social shares, wrong focus. Your dashboard should have revenue per customer, cost to serve, churn rate, sales cycle, time to ship fixes. Make it visible. Review it regularly. Get obsessed with outcomes, not just optics. Step 4 is a culture reset. People are confused. It's time that you as a founder stepped in, not as a CEO, but as a human leader. Share transparently. Call a town hall. Share, here's what we did wrong. Here's what we are fixing. Here's how we will turn around. People don't leave startups because of the financial situation. They leave startups because nobody is taking ownership. Step 5 is to bring in experienced leadership. Don't try to do it alone. Every founder needs help. CEOs, coaches, growth advisors, financial mentors. Sometimes hiring a good resource can change the entire trajectory of your company. Here's what I want to leave you with. Money doesn't solve startup problems. Execution does. Funding doesn't build great teams. Culture does. And growth doesn't come from shouting louder. Listening does. If you are a startup founder and feeling overwhelmed by all this, it's okay. Every startup goes through turbulence. But you must pause, reset, fix, and start all over again. If you want support, drop a comment, DM me on LinkedIn, and I'm glad to help you. Till the next time, stay unstoppable.